Awesome. Thank you so much. I mean, putting me after Jason was a little bit mean. That was a great presentation. But yes, so my presentation is really based on, you were already bought in, we should be using AI. What are the things that we can do that might be a little bit of a lower lift than going and saying, hey, please give me 8 billion tools to do everything. Although that CLO work stack that you went through is just like truly the dream. But today we're going to be talking about, when should you use AI? What tools and models can you use? How you can use it to identify talent, optimize outreach, and like easy next steps, easy lift. Hopefully, this is a little bit more on the how do you practically get started using all of these new exciting tools instead of, going through on, getting ready. So really, when you can use I use it to minimize repetitive tasks. I mean, this might be more in the 2015 side of things, but if you're not using Calendly, if you're not using TextBlaze and Text Expander, a lot of those are free things that you can just use snippets to say instead of, typing out, hey, I'd like to find some time to connect, please, blah, 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 blah. Use like /CAL. Here's the Calendly. Everyone can use that to book. It's really a time saver. And this way, I'm a really big believer as AI is here, as we've got all these new shiny things that are making things work, that are making it easier to find and engage with people. We really should be spending more time building relationships with hiring managers, building relationships with building relationships with hiring managers, building relationships with candidates. Truly, and yes, Calendly is free. Trying to keep an eye on the chat a little bit. And then TextBlaze is free. That's what I use. I don't know if Text Expander is still free, but definitely it just saves so much time. Google is finally getting into the Calendly game with your own scheduler that you can use for free for different, here's a 15-minute, here's a 30-minute one. But really, you're just using AI to eliminate the toil, reduce the really repetitive tasks, so you can spend that time building relationships. Um, so I will also say there's no like, if we had, I think there's a big race for everyone to build. Here is the magic thing. It's going to take away every single thing. That's not here yet. So really, this is more of a framework what you should use. No single solution fits all situations. Be really clear before you get started on what you want to use, what you want the goal to be, and like define that goals and that criteria beforehand. So I was really bought in. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this presentation using AI. Let me use Gemini. Let's see, like, hey, Gemini, co-create the slide for me. And I'm not gonna lie, it looked absolutely terrible. So I made this presentation using Microsoft's one, and then I moved it over to Google Sheets. Really think through what your goal is, though. Using it for the slides, not the content. But really think through, hey, what am I going to use this for? What is that going to be? And I will also say, make sure it's okay with your security team, especially if you're going to be uploading candidate data in. Always get that that clear sign off first. So I use a lot of ChatGPT. That is, I will say, I've taken even like actually, I'll go ahead to our next one. Have you guys spent time? I used to have the like concatenate Boolean builder, and you would sit through and just like very carefully be like, okay, hang on, I need to code in a space that I'm going to use as I'm going to build in my or string. And then I'm building out, hey, here's the searches that I'm going to go through. And I literally have spent hours of my life fighting with Excel. Um, Going through that, I use ChatGPT to build something in like less than 5 seconds of here's my list of target companies, take this list, turn it into something that I can pop into LinkedIn. That's something that you can really do probably today. It's not going to integrate with anything. You're probably not going to have, too many issues with with your security team, and you can just go say, hey, go build this and roll with it. Um, using models like Deep Search. One thing to note for all the amazing thing that Gen AI is doing, it's doing pattern matching and pattern recognition. So pattern recognition, hey, give me a list of companies to go through. Hey, give me keywords and tools that people are using. Generate. I mean, Seekout's been doing this for a while, and HireEasy has also been doing this for a while here, building. you know, build a search for me using these things, it's really, really quick to just go through and say, hey, um, give me a list of tools that your back-end engineers are going to be using, turn that into a search string, and then run it. I'm a big fan of keeping the human in the loop, making sure that you're actually reaching out to developers. I get emails all the time, hey, please come join my coding team. So making sure that you're just not quite doing that. Um, and really making sure that there's still a point where you can come in and look and say, hey, making sure that there's a moment and your checkpoint where you are able to say, this person is actually a match, this person is not a match. Make sure that you don't like burn the bridge and say, hey, I'm going to blast you with something that's like very spammy, and then they're never going to be interested in your company again. Um, so here's what I like to do, honestly, is use your search, build your search. I like to come in and put something really, really specific so that I'm going through um I like to build something really specific so people think that it's very, very personalized, where you go through and say, hey, of the people who are at this company and in this city, give me everyone who has like this keyword on their search or this common, this title. And then you build out a template that uh, hopefully everyone here is using some kind of CRM that can do some kind of batch outreach. But I mean, honestly, even like LinkedIn, where you can bring in just like, here's a token, here's your name, here's your company, here's this other specific thing that you're bringing in. That makes it look, hey, you have done work to pull that like targeted, curated list together. Using that targeted list, your targeted personas, write a template that makes sense. I will say I do you like use it to refine a template. I mean, I know how to sell my company. I'm always going to bring that in, but coming through and saying, hey, you might hear it right now. I tend to ramble and go a little bit long. I talk to engineers who want things short and sweet. Use this, come shorten this for me. One thing to note when you do that as you go through, uh, as you go through, I like to put in like, here's our links, here's this Forbes article you should look at, here's this our Eng blog. Make sure if you do that, you have them saved somewhere because it will kind of go through. Um, but definitely build that, personalize it use your tokens to make sure that you can like scale a group and say, hey, I'm going to send the same message to 30 people, but they're going to think that, I'm writing it just to them, and then kind of go through. And then truly, here's some like really, really easy lifts to go through. I will say, I'm scrolling through the chat right now. Remember flashbacks to your previous things. I think I did this 20-minute presentation in about 10 minutes. But I do really think that you can go today, even using ChatGPT, Gemini. Hopefully, your company has at least one tool that you can go through that you can, even if it's not integrating with your data, you can come through and say, hey, generate a generate a search tool. Honestly, even using the one that Jason just shared, generate a string of target companies, generate a string of keywords, build that search, and then test a campaign. See like you use your like optimized outreach, some key elements of personalization and batch scheduling. And I will say, I'm looking through the chat a little bit. They said we weren't supposed to do Q&A, but I'm going to cheat a little tiny bit. I put my Calendly in my second follow-up. So I think everyone probably does schedule outreach. And I do, here's the first thing, I think you're worth talking to, love to get some time to connect. My second one, I do say, hey, even if now is not the right time, I do put in my full Calendly link and people will just book time and then not say anything. And people, it really does work. Truly, you do need to use a little bit of messaging, a little bit of targeted outreach, but like it pays dividends as you go through. Again, I think I kind of blew through this a little bit, but please find me on LinkedIn. Would love to continue the conversation. Sorry for kind of jumping through this one really, really quickly. Um,
It was
but
great.
hopefully this is something that's just very easy and practical to get started.